All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football. All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. On the ground, the drive starts with Sims. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. The 20, 10, and all the way home for a Bills touchdown. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Bills have taken the early lead. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now the punter Dixon out to kick it off. This one taken from the 7. Able to spin free. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Watson will bring up the Texans here first and 10 at about the 32.
Come back.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. Pushing through the contact. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And, boy, that one drops incomplete. But if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That one goes for 24 yards. Now Jones. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. They give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. Faking the give. Now Watson. He's caught. Touchdown, Texans. As his guys are in for 6. And the Texans are an extra point away from taking the lead. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You have a lot to handle in this one.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bills getting set to go. To start the drive to Sims. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. everything here, we're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Second down, Brissett. He finds Douglas complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A very solid gain of 27. Now Sims. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
They'll run here with Sims. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Flex round. Let's go. Grand 38. Grand 38. Ohio. Flex round. Ohio.
From the shotgun, it's Brissett. Man open right side, it's the tight end Clay. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. First time that they've called his number tonight, and it gets him a 1st down. Toss play to Sims. He gets away from 1. 11 yards and a Buffalo 1st down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and are controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Flex round.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll toss it out to Sims. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Bills in possession. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. From the gun, here's Brissett. And that is incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go! What? 90! What? 90!
Out of the gun, Brissett. And he comes back with one complete. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. First trip to the red zone for the Bills. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18.
Ohio! Ohio!
Sims. And he'll take this one down near the 15. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now they'll run it on the toss. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Already a pair of 3rd down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this 3rd down try.
Come on, let's go! What? 90! What? 90! Flex round! Flex round! What?
To throw is Brissett. Looking for his tight end Clay, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they'll throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Come back! Come back! Hey, 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 hey! 4 down, 4 down, 4 down. Watch the slant! Watch the slant! Motion, motion!
After the interception, here's Watson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat with a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. charted loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Off of play action, it's Watson. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. Third and long, why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and the line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, they're silly, and that leads to a play-action sack. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bills are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now they run with Sims. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Brissett sets to throw it. And he's got his man. It's the tight end play. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a pickup of 17 on that one and a Bills 1st down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a 1st down.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Bills are in for 6. And now Sean McDermott's made the call. They'll go for 2. They're going to run it with Sims. And he will get into the end zone again. And he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Now the punter Dixon out to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 1st down, it's Watson. He sets up the screen to Jones. Space to maneuver at the 40. A big seam, and he might go all the touchdown. Ronald Jones, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. Point after, right down the middle. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match at a football game. Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop. And the drive begins here with Sims. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football. On 3rd down, Brissett. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Brissett dancing to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer. Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta. That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it. A 2nd down throw for Brissett. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And this is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bills have broken the tie. And can you believe it? He misses another one, his 3rd so far. Now the punter Dixon out to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something? You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line. They'll run it with Jones. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Watson. Wide open receiver, complete. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick is indeed good. And that cuts the lead down to just 3, 20-17. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Bills taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And here comes the Texans now. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Green the line! Green the line!
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. A shotgun snap for Watson. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 4th down, no problem. 19 yards that time, but now it's 1st and 10. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Space to run past the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 15 on the year. And the Texans are in for 6. So a design run all the way, and he took it the distance. I don't know that anybody saw that coming.
Well, on this play, how about the vision of him, being able to see the open field, make his move, and get there. Oftentimes, defenses have a spy for the quarterback position to try and take care of it. On that play, if they did, it certainly didn't work. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use.
It's caught inside the 25. A big play here for the Bills. 56 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. A great effort there. His third touchdown of the game and fourth on the year. And the Bills are in for 6. He's got the hat trick now of rushing touchdowns. Also has his team the advantage.
And I'm looking at it two ways here. If I'm on defense, I don't care what they do now. I commit as many people as it takes to slowing him down running the football. Even if they want to hit me over the top on play action, I just don't let him beat me that way anymore. And if I'm him, I'm in the huddle calling the plays myself. I don't care what play call comes in. I tell my quarterback, guess what? You're handing it to me again.
And if I'm the quarterback, I'm saying, okay, that sounds good, right?
Smart quarterback.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They had gotten the lead with the opening drive touchdown in the third quarter. Now they relinquish that lead back. Could be in for an interesting second half.
It certainly appears that way, doesn't it? Almost turning into one of those pendulum games, right, where it swings back and forth, and who's going to make the play that changes that maybe it puts it on one side and keeps it there.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Come back, come back.
After the run, Watson going to throw. He's going to air one out. That's caught inside the 20. Watson hitting Fuller with a big one. 52 yards.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. Back to throw, Watson. And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Touchdown. Deshaun Watson from 17 yards out. And the Texans are in for 6. So they're down in the red zone. They opt to utilize his legs instead of the arm. It works out pretty well.
I like what they were thinking there, because in most situations now, defense is accounting for all the other runners on the field and, of course, for pass plays. But the quarterback position, oftentimes it is unaccounted for. Offense coordinator felt it, dialed it right up.
Inside the red zone, is this something teams should maybe, depending on the quarterback, do more often?
Definitely. If you've got a quarterback who can actually move it with his legs, that's an extra option and an extra weapon for you. I think they should utilize it more often.
They just get the play off. Now Brissett. That is incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Flex round! Flex round!
A 2nd down throw for Brissett. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Let's go! What? 90! What? 90!
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Completes it to Douglas. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. Now they'll run it on the toss. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Come on, let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
Brissett now on 2nd down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And they brought the pressure there just right up the gut, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And, you know, when you've got so many different responsibilities as an offensive line, you got to deal with the nose tackle, the 2 defensive tackles or ends, and then sometimes you just can't account for everyone. The linebacker slipped free.
Come on, let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
It's 3rd and long for Brissett. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big gain of 39 on 3rd.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Flex round! Flex round!
And they'll run it here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Brissett now. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 11, and he returns it here to his own 18-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Here's Marquette King now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
And no pitch there and no chance either as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. A give to Jones. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. He'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. He may try and run for this. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Give him 5 on the QB run, but it's going to bring up a 4th down. And his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position. But it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And now out come the Bills. And last time, 1-play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people would think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Flex round! Flex round!
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Going up top. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And that one results in 35 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Let's go! What? 90! What? 90! Flex round! Flex round! Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Who's that? Is that yours? Is that yours? Who's that? Hey, Mike, give me two. Mike, give me two.
A 1st down throw for Brissett. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, a 22. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Again, they run with Sims. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
Nice job there defensively on 3rd down. Not only did they string the play out, but they didn't allow any room for a cutback. Really well organized on the defensive side.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4.
Come on, let's go.
Brissett. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And here he'll get it down to the 7. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Here we go. What? Nothing. What? Nothing. Ohio. Ohio. Flex round. Flex round. Hut. Hut.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Agreed, that's twice now in this 4th quarter.
As a quarterback, a lot of times you think it's all on you to make plays when you're losing. And here, the play's not there, but he throws it anyway.
Throwing now, Watson. Throw left side complete. It's Fuller. And they'll get him down right at around the 11-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it. Keep playing hard, fellas. All day. Whoa. Let's get it. Come back, come back.
Watson now to throw. He's letting this one go for Fuller. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Now the Bills will take another timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. The Texans on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They will indeed snap it to Watson. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now the ball comes loose, and the Bills have recovered, and they're not able to convert on 4th down. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Here we go. Brand 38. Brand 38.
He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Richmond. Tiger.
And Watson's going to throw it here. He's going to sling this deep down. And got his man complete. A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Watson making up for some lost time here in season number 2. He's got the Texans on the move with a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe to get a little greedy.
And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown. A try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now up to 14. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here.
Here we go. Brand 38. Brand 38.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off at about the 31. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Texans, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll be at home for one next week against the Oakland Raiders. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Oh.